Not my voice. Mia woke up with a sense of unease. The dim morning sunlight filtered through the blinds, filling the room with a grayish half-light. She stretched, trying to shake off the strange heaviness in her chest, but something was wrong. "Good morning," she said out loud. The sound of her own voice made her freeze. That was not her voice. It was hoarse, foreign, deep, as if it had been run through an old radio receiver. Louder than she was used to, it cut through the silence with a metallic edge. Mia swallowed, hoping it was just a dry throat, and tried again. What the hell? No, this wasn't her voice. A chill ran down her spine. She brought her hand to her throat, ran her fingers over her skin, but felt nothing. No pain, no swelling. Panic started to rise inside her. She grabbed her phone and opened the voice recorder, speaking a few words. Then she pressed play. "This is your voice now," the recording said. Her breath hitched. She hadn't said that. Or had she? The phone slipped from her hands. One thought flared in her mind. What is happening to me? Automatically, she got up from bed and walked to the bathroom. The mirror reflected her pale, frightened face. She opened her mouth, trying to say something, but suddenly she felt something inside her shift, contract. And then, "It's time to begin," said the voice. Her lips had not moved. She stumbled back, her heart hammering in her chest. One thought pulsed in her mind. This is a dream, just a weird dream. She clenched her fists, trying to convince herself that she just needed to wake up. But the pain in her wrist from her own nails was real. "Who are you?" she whispered. Silence. Then, a quiet, almost imperceptible chuckle. "You'll enjoy this," the voice whispered inside. "We're going to work well together." Mia clutched her head. This was impossible. Voices in the head didn't sound like this. Voices in the head didn't feel pleased. She rushed to her bed, grabbed her phone, and dialed her best friend Laura. The ringing tone echoed in her ears, her heartbeat growing faster. When the call connected, Mia exhaled sharply. "Laura, something's wrong with me." But she hadn't said that. The words came from her lips, but the voice was foreign, deep, emotionless, filled with unsettling satisfaction. Laura fell silent. Then, the call cut off. She had hung up. Mia stared at her phone, disbelief washing over her. Her best friend had just heard something. Something that made her hang up without a word. Then the voice spoke again, this time closer, louder, deeper. "I knew you wouldn't resist." Mia squeezed her eyes shut, covering her ears with her hands. But it didn't help. The voice wasn't coming from outside. It was inside her. Mia sat like that for several minutes, clutching her head in her hands, trying to drown out the sounds inside her. She didn't know what to do, where to run, or whom to tell. No one would believe her. How could something like this even be explained in words? "We're not going to waste time, are we?" The voice spoke again. She took a deep breath. Maybe if she ignored it, it would go away. "Maybe. Go to the kitchen," the voice commanded. "You know what to do." Mia slowly stood up, her legs feeling like jelly. She didn't want to obey, but her body moved on its own. Within moments, she was standing before the table, where her meat-cutting knife lay. "Pick it up." The voice was soft, yet commanding. Her fingers trembled, but she grabbed the knife. "What do you want from me?" she whispered. "Prove that you're ready. Start with yourself." Mia looked at her hand. The voice was clearly suggesting something terrible. "Cut. Slice the skin on your wrist. Deep." She clenched her jaw. She wouldn't do it. She wouldn't let something foreign control her. But her hand was already slowly raising the knife to her skin. At the last moment, she threw the knife aside. It clattered to the floor with a sharp clang. Her chest rose and fell with ragged breaths. Her eyes filled with tears. "Resisting?" The voice turned colder. "That is disappointing." Mia didn't respond. She backed up against the wall, her legs shaking. She had to get out. She had to find a way out. She lunged for the door, but suddenly the voice barked a sharp order. "Stop!" Her body froze. She couldn't move. Her own body wasn't listening to her. Panic flared inside her, but the voice kept speaking. "This won't do. If you won't obey, I'll start with someone else. Mia's heart pounded in terror as her lips, moving against her will, whispered, Laura. Her chest tightened. Laura, her best friend. Number. This couldn't be real. It had to be a trick of the mind. Laura, the voice repeated inside her. Her voice will sound beautiful when she screams. Mia tried to scream, but the sound came out as a strangled gasp. She clutched her head, feeling the foreign force trying to break free. You won't hurt her, she shouted. Then obey. The voice turned into a venomous whisper. Or I'll do it myself. Mia swallowed hard. Tears streamed down her cheeks. She couldn't let this happen. If she refused to do what the voice demanded, it would hurt someone else. Dinner at a restaurant, the voice suddenly said. Tonight, you know who to choose. Mia stared in horror at her reflection in the glass of the kitchen cabinet. It stared back with the same panic. But it wasn't her. Mia tried to pretend. During the day, she forced herself to work, smile at her colleagues, answer questions as if nothing was happening. But the voice never left her. It was with her every second, in every breath, in every movement. You know who to choose, it repeated. She was preparing dinner at the restaurant, moving mechanically, but her mind was racing. Among her colleagues was Peter, a young chef who always joked and helped her with the hard work. She couldn't choose him, but if she didn't choose, the voice reminded her, you don't want someone else to suffer. As her shift neared its end, she glanced around the empty restaurant. The refrigerator needed a temperature check. Peter went in first and she followed. The moment he stepped inside, the voice grew louder. Close the door. Mia couldn't. She clutched the cold handle, her fingers slick with sweat. Peter turned, looking at her with concern. Are you okay? He asked. Yes. The voice that escaped her lips wasn't her own. Close the door, the voice inside commanded, or I will do it myself. Her hand jerked. The door slammed shut, locked. Peter lunged for the door from the other side, pounding against the glass. Mia! What the hell? But she couldn't answer. She could only watch as the frost swallowed his breath, as his fist struck the door, and as fear froze in his eyes. Good girl, the voice whispered in satisfaction. Mia shut her eyes. She had just condemned a man to death. She tried to turn away, but the voice wouldn't let her. Now watch, it ordered. Her eyes opened against her will. Peter was no longer screaming. His movements had become frantic, desperate. He hit the glass so hard his knuckles split, blood smearing the surface. But his breathing was slowing. His fingers stiffened against the cold. One last time he looked at her. His gaze pleaded. Then he stopped moving. Mia felt her knees buckle. She sank to the floor, trembling violently. Every part of her wanted to scream, but she couldn't make a sound. See? The voice was pleased. That was easy. Now we move forward. No, she choked out. You don't want Laura to be next, do you? Mia let out a sob, pressing her forehead to the floor. She couldn't fight. She couldn't stop it. All she could do was wait for the next command. 2 days had passed. No one at the restaurant knew where Peter had disappeared to. The staff talked about his sudden absence, but no one suspected anything was wrong. Maybe he just quit without warning, they joked, while inside Mia was consumed by horror. The voice was silent. That was even worse. She tried to focus on work, but her hands trembled as she chopped vegetables. Every time she picked up a knife, the voice seemed to stir inside her. Are you still afraid? It suddenly spoke in her head. You need to learn. Mia gripped the knife tighter. She didn't respond. Tonight, you will take another step. The voice was soft, almost gentle. Take a needle. She knew what it meant. In the storage room, there were long kitchen needles used for meat. She didn't want to do it, but her legs were already carrying her there. She picked up one of the needles, feeling the cold metal tremble in her grip. You know what to do. The whisper was closer now. You need to feel it. Mia took a shaky breath, squeezing her eyes shut. She lifted the needle and slowly pressed it against the back of her hand. Pierce it. Tears welled in her eyes, but she couldn't resist. The needle slid under her skin, piercing through slowly, almost delicately. Pain shot through her, but the voice laughed. Good girl, it purred with delight. Now you understand. A thin trail of blood trickled down her wrist. She couldn't let go of the needle. Her fingers felt fused to the metal. The storage room door swung open. Mia! It was Laura. Mia's head snapped up, her eyes wide. Laura stared at her in alarm. What are you? Oh my God, your hand! Laura rushed over, grabbing her wrist. Who did this to you? Mia opened her mouth, but the voice spoke again. Tell her you're fine. I'm fine, she said, her voice hollow, empty. Laura frowned. No, you're not. Come on, I'm taking you to the hospital. You can't, the voice hardened. Stop her. Mia felt her hands slowly rising. One of them still held the needle. You know what to do. Laura took a step back, fear flashing in her eyes. But before anything could happen, a loud scream echoed from the dining area. Oh my God! Someone had found the body. Mia and Laura froze. For a few seconds, no one moved. Then chaos erupted in the hallway. Rapid footsteps, shrieking voices. Someone stumbled out of the freezer, their face pale as if covered in frost. It's Peter! He's in there! He froze! Mia couldn't breathe. Laura's grip on her wrist tightened. Mia! Did you know about this? Her voice shook. No! Mia forced out. But again, it wasn't her voice. The noise in the restaurant escalated. Someone had called the police. People ran in different directions, unsure of what to do. Laura looked at her again, then stepped back, realization twisting her face. It was you! Mia wanted to scream, to tell the truth, to say it wasn't her, but the voice inside only laughed. Now this is getting interesting, isn't it? Mia ran. Chaos erupted around her. Screams, the crash of broken dishes, hurried footsteps. But all she could hear was the dull roar inside her head. The voice wasn't laughing anymore. It whispered, cold, steady, commanding. You can't run! She burst into the staff room, slammed the door shut behind her, and pressed her back against the wall. Her breathing was ragged, her hands trembling. She didn't know what to do. The police were already on their way. Laura had seen her in the storage room with the needle, had seen the fear in her eyes. Now, no one would defend her. Trust me. The voice was gentle, almost soothing. I will help you. You just have to do this. The right way. Shut up! Mia hissed, clutching her head. I won't listen. You're already listening, it reminded her. You know what to do. She felt something shifting inside her, as if her body no longer belonged to her. Her fingers curled into fists on their own. Her eyes darted around the room, landing on the knives hanging on the wall. No, she whispered, but her legs were already moving. Her hand reached for a knife. At that moment, the door outside slammed. Someone was approaching. Laura! Mia! Laura's voice called. Please, talk to me. Mia froze. The voice inside her growled. She won't help you. They will take everything from you. You know what to do. She closed her eyes. Flashing images burned through her mind. Blood on white-tiled walls. Peter's frozen breath in the freezer. Her own hands gripping a knife. No! No! She screamed and slammed her head against the wall. Pain exploded in her skull, but the voice only roared in response. Foolish girl! You think that will help? It was laughing now. Louder, stronger. If you don't obey, you won't be yourself anymore. The door cracked as something slammed against it from the other side. Mia, open the door! Laura. Mia looked at the knife in her shaking hand. Then her gaze shifted to the reflection in the glass cabinet. The eyes staring back at her weren't hers. They were smiling. The voice growled. Last chance. Kill her, or I take you. With trembling fingers, Mia reached for her phone. The last message she had sent Laura was still glowing on the screen. Simple words, I'm scared. She took a deep breath. Then take me. With one final movement, she dragged the knife across her own throat. A sharp pain tore through her body. Blood poured in a hot rush. The voice screamed, but now it was weaker. It was losing control. The door burst open. Laura rushed in, her eyes widening in horror. No! Mia! But it was too late. The last thing Mia saw was the panic in Laura's eyes. Then, silence. Absolute silence. The next day, news sites reported on the incident at the restaurant. The body of a young woman was found in her apartment. Police are investigating it as a possible suicide. Neighbors claim they heard her talking to herself late at night, but the voice sounded strange.
If this story made your heart race, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button to support new chilling tales and tap the bell. That way, you won't miss the next dose of horror. In the comments, let us know how much you enjoyed the story and which themes scare you the most. Who knows? Maybe your idea will become the next nightmare.